So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to a scene for Boston by night, where there is Alice, and she is doing her thing, which means spending probably the initial part of her night at home, but still waking up to check the phone, shoot a text or two, get up, get dressed, and finding herself on that edge of hunger, probably actually swinging by the kitchen and munching on um whatever Ivy has lately baked and left out where she can find it, which is just a dangerous thing to do, really. So she's been nibbling, she's been texting, she probably sits and talks with Polo, chatters up whoever, and does a little bit of normal around the house behavior because let's face it, she's been splitting her time really, really bad. But after some time to talk, maybe some time to check on Lydia, she'll go ahead and head out and let everyone know where she's going, and she'll totally be back. Totally. Um, but she snags her keys from the hook, heads out through the garage, and goes for her car. And knowing at this point, after several trips there, precisely where Alec lives, will make sure he is aware and game before she rolls out. Sooner or later, she will end up in his driveway, and better
You
yet,
see
knock
it.
it on his door.
You knock on his door, and he eventually opens. You see, like he's obviously in a shirt and a pair of jeans. His cigarettes and still in his mouth. He's actually in his bare feet.
For some reason, that just tickles her pink. And she'll look up with a smile when he answers the door. Hey,
Hello.
staying in tonight?
You could say that.
You make it sound a little sus.
Just shakes his head. Just doing some training.
Oh,
Shrugs. Still leaning against the door.
well, I wouldn't want you to be lonely for training.
Is that an invitation to come in?
I mean, it's me trying real hard.
He just shakes
Big
his
old
head,
grin.
takes a drag, and steps to the side.
Then yeah, she'll probably reach out and like just touch his hand or something in coming in, just in passing. But we'll go ahead and slip in once he makes room for her to pass through the door.
He squeezes her hand. You feel that ice cold touch as he closes the door behind you, and you enter into the very fancy Georgian hallway.
Ooh.
You walk down and you walk into the living room, and you see basically like one of those kind of like long kind of punch bags that's kind of inflates up essentially.
Oh, how many of those do
Part
you
of you wonder.
have?
You also notice he's moved all the nice stuff out of the room as well. So they'll clump together in a pile. You would swear that if you were anyway inclined, you'd have a heart attack at the level of niceness here that's just been clumped into a corner.
All the furniture's been pushed out to the edges of the room.
Mm-hmm. Anyone who would, if Alice is so intellectually inclined that way, she would have a heart attack if she was human.
I mean, she probably has some appreciation for like, wow, that is a lot of money just piled in the corner. Jesus, that is gonna break. Oh God, just that half second of like, oh, it must be nice to have so much money you can just oh.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she'll glance at the heavy bag and kind of look back at him. So how many of those do you actually go through
3 or 4.
a night?
Shrug.
A sitting? Grinning.
Depends on how much I'm hitting.
Expensive hobby.
Shrugs. I can afford it.
Yes, you can. Another, like, just glance over to the corner, like, oh, God.
Shakes his head as he takes a drag. Are you alright?
Hmm? As far as I can tell.
Eyebrow raise?
There's a shrug. I just like being around. Even if we're not doing something completely crazy.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
Am I pushing?
Pushing.
I mean,
Eyebrow raise again.
some people like their privacy. You don't seem to be one of them, but some people do.
I can have my moments of privacy. But if I needed privacy, I would tell you I needed it. I don't understand why that would be complicated.
A lot of people make things needlessly complicated.
Shrugs. I mean, I can make things needlessly complicated too, but not when it comes to privacy.
Well, you know what? Fair enough. Can't even refute it.
Nods slowly. Twists his head to the side. Are you sure you're alright?
She kind of takes a self-assessment moment, like kind of pats herself a couple times, like, yeah, I'm all here. Got the munchies like nobody's business, but no, otherwise, I'm good.
Alright. It's just. I can't see you.
She kind of squints a little, tilts her head. What do you mean?
Walks over beside her. Leans down, so like his chin is by her shoulder. Kind of turns his body with hers until you're looking into a mirror and you just see Alec.
Oh. That gives her a little bit of the ugh. She kind of makes a point of not looking into mirrors. So yeah, she kind of actually has a little bit of a visceral reaction to that and promptly looks away from it.
Unless you're that always been there?
Uh I think so. Tell you it makes it a bitch to do my makeup. Is kind of a very awkward face. Like I'm trying to make a joke, but even I'm not going for it right now.
He just nods understandingly, slowly. I see. Well, just be careful with that.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it.
Not for the way you think. Of course, be careful in terms of letting people see that. But be careful around us.
Why?
That particular condition has an association with something people do not like to talk about.
Like what?
Rubs his chin. Let's just say it has an association with members of an organization that we have conflict with. Members who we fought during the war.
She actually kind of catches a glance back towards the mirror again. Again, there's just kind of like it's one of those kind of bristling motions where she looks away again.
It's more of an association.
Is there something I should do if people see that? Do I have to prove I'm me?
You should be alright, but people will give you a strange look. The fact that your ivy is You are more, and you've been introduced, so. But just keep it in mind, okay?
Yeah, yeah. I actually hadn't thought about it for a hot minute.
Just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah,
I don't want you getting hurt.
yeah.
Sorry if I've upset you.
There's the little kind of admittedly a bit awkward head shake. No, no, it's I mean, it's not your fault.
I just, wasn't sure. I know. I feel like an idiot.
It's okay. It's just a thing. I don't really stand in front of a lot of mirrors.
Same way as you walk over, and there is a plant there, and when he extends his hand, the plant withers, and you see ice literally forming along the leaves, and it just begins to die.
She'll actually kind of move over. And even with that visceral reaction from, a plant, that very abrupt, very clear, visible response, she reaches out and kind of takes the hand.
You can feel that ice numbed. Do you know what I mean? Coldness.
Yeah. She takes the hand and just brings it up to rub, the back of the knuckles against her cheek.
Again, so goddamn cold. You know what I mean? You're like, ooh.
It's
Ooh.
very jarring, and actually, considering the look at the mirror, it actually probably helps center her a little bit after that. I like to think I have better taste than a plant.
Huh. It's funny.
Is it?
We often tried to chase life so much, all of us. But yet out of a touch, it all just fades away.
It's an interesting conflict, I imagine, between the fact that he is viscerally, like, he's incredibly, incredibly cold, and she's warm. She's very warm. And nonetheless, she still puts that, the knuckles up to her cheek. Not, never minding the actual frost that forms on the skin. If anything, kind of perking up, getting a little brighter.
It's just
I,
interesting.
I guess. I'll reach out and flick some of the frost off the plant to slow the kind of decaying.
You notice he hasn't even touched it yet, just by the fact that he raised his hand close to it.
I mean, everything's kind of strange and funny, isn't it?
In a way.
Well, it brings me to life.
Just look over and smile slowly. It is hard. I can imagine even for you. On the things you wish you could see. People often forget with this life, the little things you cannot have. It it piles on eventually.
I should probably thank Ivy at some point for kind of pulling me out of it.
Thank her.
I mean, isn't it better to kind of rip off the band-aid? I mean, I still have my job. I still know people, but being separated for that long.
Was it better for her to do that to you?
I mean, if you think about what could have happened if I was kind of left to do my own thing, I mean, at least they're still around. At least I see people at work. At least I can still text them. And I could still go out and visit with them, go to a diner with them. But
You are lucky.
it's that first step of separation, you know? It goes from being close to being impersonal, and it still sucks, but I could have killed someone.
You just lift her chin up, and you feel a little touch of frost. That especially feels jarring. It's like, whoo.
Yeah, again, it almost sharpens her a little bit. It's very prone to like grab her focus, grab her attention.
You are lucky.
Yeah, I like to think so. I try to think so.
Have you ever killed anyone before?
Uh, she actually goes kind of quiet for a second. I think so.
You think so?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Uh, I'm not sure. I don't know. I like to think I haven't.
He looks down very slowly.
There's stuff I can't remember.
That delay. That's the yes.
And I mean, her head, unless he's still propping it up, has kind of turned down, and like he can see her like licking her teeth over, like under the lip, just kind of feeling at him with the edge of her tongue.
Take it for someone who has. I know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
He just switches on the TV in the background, keeping a low hum. And then lifts his head up again. I take it someone took care of it for you.
Yeah.
Again, you are lucky.
I don't see it as very lucky. I was lucky it would have happened at all.
He lets out a breath, rubbing at his face, you know. Have you ever buried a body before?
No.
Have you ever had to hide one before?
No.
You are lucky to have someone who took care of you.
There's a quiet nod as the lips kind of roll in, just nibbling on them, just kind of thoughtfully. Did no one take care of you?
He doesn't say anything, he just kind of adjusts the bag a bit, like almost like he's fixing it in place.
She'll eventually probably fold in to one of the couches or whatever that's been shoved against the wall. Though, especially as she asks that, she kind of glances to one of the almost too numerous photos of him with Caroline.
There's a lot. Just, they seem happy.
I mean, they seem happy, and that's great. But she's still like, so no one took care of you, and is glancing at the pictures, or at whichever one happens to be closest.
There's definitely one of more of like its formal ball, essentially. You always know, so Alex stands. There's the big center picture, and you see Caroline and all these people. Alex always stands off at the distance. Nobody took care of me the first time.
Why?
Nobody was around.
She kind of squints, glance at him, a little sideways. Nobody.
Nobody.
That's I'm sorry.
It is in past.
I mean, yeah, but that doesn't mean you forget.
No. It doesn't.
It's kind of fucked up, isn't it? How much time we spend kind of trying to remember things. And you really can't pick and choose, can you?
Sometimes you just need things to make you feel alive again. Because when you're alive, you remember.
I mean, exactly that. It's. She kind of shakes her head, stays kind of curled up in the on the couch. She's the kind of person who, especially probably having taken her shoes off at the door, will totally like tuck her feet up there too.
I am probably depressing this conversation.
Uh, it's a depressing topic. I can't be mad.
I am probably not helping.
It's okay. It's is what it is. I'm not mad. Doesn't hmm. You mind if I raid your fridge?
Sure.
And yeah, she'll just promptly like take hold of the distraction and go ahead and hop up and kind of quickly meander her way into the kitchen. And yeah, we'll pop open the fridge and whatever is like a pre-made something she can snag and just eat, and probably a drink. Just
Yeah,
anything really to
you
kind
can
of.
tell. You can tell there's the bare minimum here. You kind of guess Alec buys food because you come over.
No. I mean, to be fair, about anything will do the job, honestly. She'll even just snag a drink out of the fridge if that's all that's there. But anything to kind of. It's a reflexive response to that little hungry edge. Just an unconscious attempt to satiate it. I mean, even though she knows it's not going to work, she can't help it. She'll actually call from the kitchen. Do you want anything?
No, no, I'm alright.
Then yeah, she'll wander back out with the drink. Are you okay?
Yes, no, I'm fine.
You sure?
Long night.
Also,
work.
Hmm. And she'll brush past long enough to again just it's that brush against the hand. It's cursory, but it's like she can't help but do it in walking past him, really. Just reaches out just to get that tingle of cold on the tip of her fingers.
Oh, you feel it.
Then yeah, to go ahead and plop herself back down, kind of sitting in such a way that she could just kind of be the audience if he's going to go at the back again.
Oh, he does. And do you know what I mean? You can't even see his fists. I'm going to put it like that.
That the eyebrows just slowly climb up as she sips what I imagine is like a, I don't know, whatever, beer, soda, whatever he keeps in bottles in the fridge.
Actually, to be honest, he doesn't go at the bag. He kind of moves and he's hitting the wall. Like there's even small dents in the wall and everything. He's that fast.
I'm gonna really hope he has like a stone wall or something because the
Yeah,
drywall would never survive this onslaught.
it's stone. But you can see in some of the parts of the fist, and there are fist marks in there.
I imagine there's, as he's doing this, there's like a little cloud of like rock dust
Yep.
from the mortar or the stones. Just like, yep, the eyebrows are just there climbing. They're climbing. And she just does the that's none of my business swig. Well, I guess that saves you a couple bags.
Yes. I'm sorry I'm not cheery tonight.
And the next time he actually pauses, if he does pause to take a break between bouts, she'll just kind of lift up a hand in offering.
He's wearing bandages on his arm and his knuckles as well, so he walks over and takes a hold of your hand softly.
You want to talk about it?
What's What's there to talk about?
I don't know, whatever's got you down.
Let's just say sometimes chasing the thing that makes you feel alive doesn't exactly make you always feel alive.
You need to go on, all right?
No. Tried that already. It's hard. It's really hard, Alice, to feel everything. Even the most happiest feeling goes away so quick. And then you're just left with sadness.
And she'll go in. It's not with enough force to like make him do it, but goes to like with the handheld, kind of tugs him in, tries to tug him down on the couch.
He gently slides down.
And she will just kind of shift from leaning this way to leaning that way until she's kind of bumped against his shoulder and reaches up, idly brushing the tips of her fingers along, the line of his cheek. It can't all be bad.
Depends on what you think is bad.
I guess so. You remember too much?
Like I said, it just hurts too much. But yet, you cannot help from chasing it and wanting it.
No, I guess not.
That's life, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Like, where do you... I don't know, where do you draw the line and when you're pushing too far, when you're trying too hard?
That's the difficult bit. Sometimes I don't realize until it's far too late.
What if it was someone else? Like, what if it was someone else's memory you were pushing after, and you knew there were memories that hurt?
You look over his shoulder at her. Why are you curious about that?
It's surprisingly apt to the shit I've been up to, really.
Whose memories are you pushing into?
Oh, only one person so far, but I feel like there's at least one more. Kind of looks up at him, cheeky-like.
One more or me? I'm confused now. Is there someone else you're not telling me about?
Not like that, no. No, you just... It seems like there's a lot of us with bad memories.
It was a tough war. For all of us.
I mean, like... stuff before the war.
Ah. Like what?
Maybe even stuff from before we were dead.
And why do you want to know that?
I mean... it's part of who we are, right? We're not just the things we've done since dying. We're not just the things we've done since the war. And,
True.
yeah, just... there's stuff I want to know about you. There's stuff I want to know about someone else. Just because... And she, like, goes so far as to, like, reach down, and even with the bandages around his hands, twine the fingers. I mean, I want to know you, just like you want to know me.
What are you going to ask me?
I don't know if I have any business asking, really. Like, that's the hard part.
I see.
And I don't know. You're already not your usual cheerful self.
You lean back on the sofa. I'll tell you this one thing then. One thing.
Okay?
was married a long time ago.
Yeah.
It is our anniversary soon.
Uh,
I have made many mistakes in my life. One of those was not being there for someone who needed it.
it seems like a lot to take on.
It was. But I should have been there.
Where were you?
Busy. With life. Pretending it was not happening. Like we all do.
Yeah. I mean, at least it's a common mistake. You're not the first person to make it. You won't be the last person.
Yes. But that mistake can sometimes cost you everything.
You feel like you've lost everything?
Sometimes the mistake can. And it's hard that you have to rebuild it all again.
You've built a lot.
Yes.
Come a long way.
I suppose I have, haven't I? And what about you?
She just kind of squeezes the hand idly. Though it's funny how she'll hold eye contact to talk, to him about him, and as soon as it becomes about her, it's like, man, look at that. I don't know, whatever the fuck that is over there. Um, I haven't built anything. Kind of a little. She does try to put on a tiny smirk. It's admittedly probably really fake. So let me see how well she can pretend that it's all good fun. Are you convincing today, Alice? Not very. Not at all, even.
How many successes you got?
Oh, none.
Okay.
I got a bad dice pool for this.
I mean, you just have to not botch.
Yeah, there you go.
He extends his hand over, touches her cheek very softly. Just because you are starting out does not mean you have to feel embarrassed by not being able to build anything yet.
I mean, I'm just kind of, I don't know. I'm riding coattails left and right, seems like.
Well, you did manage to help catch a felon, which does look good in court.
Oh, yeah. It's still, I don't know. If I hadn't been there, wouldn't Rose have been there?
But she wasn't, and you were. What would have happened then? Perhaps she could have done something, perhaps she could not have. But it doesn't matter because in that moment you were there.
Yeah. But in court, what's going to matter more? That I was a tag along for the mission or just that I showed up on your arm?
I don't know about you, but lean in. I did not get Hound of City because I hung on Caroline's arm. I got Hound of City because I went on missions like that. Whether it was tag along or not.
If nothing else, the lean in and the sincerity kind of perk her up the slightest bit. I guess so. It's just, I don't know. It's.
You let gossip people worry about gossip. Begs those who act. That is what he wants from us. That is what the sheriff wants. That's what we expected to do. So don't let the gossip people gossip. That's what my mother does. I love her to pieces, but it's what she does.
I don't know. Am I not supposed to end up another gossip person? Grinning.
That's up to you. If you want to follow your sire's path, you can be. But if you want to follow your own, you don't have to be.
Finally, kind of stubbornly flops her shoulder back against his, dipping her head to rest on his shoulder. I like running with you better. I mean, I don't feel like I do bad in the middle of everything, but I don't know. This is real.
I'm glad you feel that.
Besides, she picks her head up, reaches over, goes to like tweak his cheek. I don't know many people who'd pick their mom over their boyfriend.
Eyebrow raise?
What?
I don't know. Ivy's a very persuasive woman.
She is. And I love her dearly, but
I imagine she's not too impressed with me.
oh,
Well, looks her Alice up and down.
why not?
Because you are her child.
And I still do whatever she needs me to do. Besides, I asked. She seemed to think it would be good for my reputation to be running around with a hound.
She did.
I mean, that's what she said. It's a bit of a scrunch. A scrunch.
Shrugs. Although when she started bringing Niall along, we had to draw a line.
What?
Niall, I'll put it this way: he took over half an hour to park car.
Wait, Ivy ran with you guys? That's right. Didn't you tell me about that before?
Like I said, half an hour to park car with Niall. It was very difficult.
Yeah. I mean, Niall has a way about him.
I mean, I understand it. I'm not saying he's bad, but Samson kind of got a bit,
A little bit agitated. There's a little touch.
nods. Yes, he does that.
I bet he does. I imagine it doesn't help that if they were in a car chase, he'd decide to go around a building a couple times just to make sure.
I mean, he's not too bad. It's just he's very erratic. He's
Yeah.
a good guy. He's just,
Odd. I don't mean that in a bad way. He'll take her hand. I'm not trying to insult you or your clan or anything.
No, I don't take it that way.
He is an odd one. Then again, you haven't met the sheriff.
Oh, what's the sheriff like?
Odd.
What kind of odd?
Odd.
That is categorically unhelpful.
I thought Ivy would have told you about him.
No.
He's one of your clan.
I mean, he's not the only one I haven't met.
Who have you not met?
Shit, what's his name? The guy who was sitting and glaring at everyone at Elysium.
Felix.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
What?
Nothing.
What?
Felix is a good man. It's just he does unnerve me at times.
He unnerves you.
Yes. He says it quite seriously.
What? Why? I mean, the stare was pretty intense.
I've worked with Felix.
Okay.
His nickname is the Warhammer. I'm gonna put it this way: Felix gets called on jobs that even the hounds get nervous going on. It's usually him and Brooks who get brought on them.
You guys get nervous?
Around them, yes,
I mean, on jobs.
of course. Just because we're batshit crazy does not mean we're stupid.
I guess not. No, just I don't know. You guys kind of go in full bore. It's kind of weird to think of you being nervous about the mission.
Just
But
because
again, I have no idea what you go up against. So
just because we're nervous does not mean we don't hesitate. But I don't see Felix blink an eye.
he didn't seem real big on blinking.
You don't get it.
No, I'm just making light. Sorry. No, I don't know. I haven't spoken to him.
The likes of him and Brooks, they don't hesitate ever. It's not like I hesitate out of fear or something. But there are limits that myself and Samson and my crew do. They won't torture anybody. No, God, no. Felix and Brooks don't do that. But they don't hesitate to do what's been necessary to be done. And that's where I draw a line.
She kind of squints.
Sometimes war, you have to do things you're not proud of. I try to be honorable in as much things as I can.
Oh, of course.
Brooks and Felix and many others. Sometimes they have to do things that most people would look at themselves in the mirror, they're ashamed. They don't.
I mean, Brooks seems like a pretty hard guy.
Felix is the same.
Oh.
You lean in. Older school, you know?
I mean, I guess. Just.
They've been around a lot longer than we have.
Oh. No.
But
She kind of reaches up, rubs the back of her head.
he's a good guy, it's just, you know.
I mean, can you really say someone commits atrocities and doesn't feel any remorse and then say they're good people?
I mean, from what I've seen, it's not like he's committed. And he stares at you kind of like, what type stare? Atrocities.
I don't know. You're just kind of hinting. I have no idea what they get called in to do.
fought in a war. A lot of our people died, and they did not die well. It is not atrocities to fight back.
Well, no, I don't know. You were just saying,
He does things that I would not be able to do. But it does not mean they're atrocities. Those people murdered us. Brutally. They tortured us. Sent us videos of them doing it. Laughing.
for what it's worth, she kind of shrinks a bit. Sorry. I mean,
You pause. I'm sorry.
It's something you lived through and I didn't.
I'm sorry, I should not have snapped.
Oh, it's okay. It was a fucked up way to say it, so
I'm sorry. It was disrespectful of me.
I mean, it's not disrespectful to call me out when I'm wrong.
But it is disrespectful in the way I do it.
It's okay.
I did not mean to yell. It's just when you lose a lot of your friends.
Yeah. And lose them badly. I understand. I just kind of assumed because you're hedging. I don't know.
It was my fault. I should have explained it better.
I mean, you don't have to go into detail on stuff you don't want to talk about.
Like I said, Felix Brooks and a few others, they've done the stuff in the war that, while I may be on the front line, they're the ones in the real shit and piss. And they have done things that I would balk at. But they did it for the rest of us. And they lost people too.
It feels like everyone did.
You remind me of one of them.
Yeah?
She was very bright.
Who was she?
Lexa. She's a bruja. Lots of tattoos. Except they weren't all over her arms, they were all over more embarrassing places. She took care of us. Myself, Samson, Zed. She's the one who gave him the idea for the cattle prod.
You needed any help thinking to use a cattle prod?
He was using a taser before.
Oh.
She said he needed to upgrade and he vibrated like a horny cat.
Yeah, I believe it.
She was one of our crew.
How long did she run with you guys?
Since the start.
How
Since
long have you guys been together?
Since Brooklyn. That was... Oh, it is 20-something years ago.
Long time.
Nods. We lost a lot of people from our crew during the war. Lexa was the last one.
How
You
many?
see his fist clench.
How many did there used to be?
Me, Samson. Me, Samson, Natalie, Cole, Lexa. That was the original lineup. Then Zed came along. Then Donnie,
Donnie.
Ophelia. Look over her shoulder. Da, Donnie. He's a good friend.
He usually runs with you guys?
Not. He's a pretty good guy. He's cool enough for a cop, you know.
It's just awkward nod. Let's see if she can make the nod less awkward, just for lols. It's only 2 successes.
We'll see. We shall see.
It's a awkward nod of like, yeah, totally cool for a cop.
Oh, he's yelled at you. Okay, man. He does that. He does that. It's fine. It's just the way he is. He gets angry. It holds up his hand. Don't worry about it.
Yep. Trying to remember if she was told flat out not to talk about that, and I think she was. So she's
He
just like,
was.
yep, that happened.
He yelled at you. Hey, he does that. He gets a bit angry. Yeah, just holds up his hand.
Have you guys heard from him lately? By chance, I haven't seen him at work.
He's been a bit quiet. Me and Samson will go have words with him soon. He's been a bit quiet. He does that.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But, Natalie and Cole died. That was tough. And then fist clinch again. Lexa saved all of us.
How? Or, I mean, don't have to talk about it if it's...
Let's just say there was a dire situation and she made sure everyone got out. And then it just happened.
Sorry.
It's alright.
You guys were close?
Yes. You can peony.
Gonna. And it's all successes.
Close. It's the way his fists are clenching.
Yep, that's why she's asking. I'm really sorry.
We knew the risks.
It doesn't make it better.
No, but we knew the risks.
I'm still sorry.
You don't need to keep apologizing.
There's not much else I can do.
Look over for what's smiling. Come here.
She'll slide up into his arms.
I'm just in a bit of a mood, remembering things. You don't have to worry about how it's impacting on you or how awkward you feel. I'm glad you're here. I still want to see you here.
Yeah, just, I don't know, starting to worry that questions only make it worse.
They do. But I'm tolerating them for your sake. I like you too much.
That's okay. I like you too much, too. Normally, normally the snapping sends me right out the door. Or a window. Or whatever's, reasonably close. But there's that, I guess.
Did someone hurt you?
No, not me. I mean, not in a long time.
Sits her up. I mean, he moves like a fucking... You know what I mean? Who hurt you?
I mean, I told you about my dad. Just didn't really go into all the details.
He hurt you.
I mean, it was usually mom.
I see.
He's the one that put her in the hospital.
Is he still around?
There's a helpless shrug. I
What
hope
was
not.
What was his name?
And just kind of like she sees the implications here, but she still just kind of spills out a name. So I don't think I specifically gave him one.
Okay. I will find out if he's in same state.
I mean, I kind of hope he's not.
If he's in same state, I will ask him to leave.
I imagine he took off after what he did.
Oh dear.
What?
Is that exactly what she says?
Oh, yes.
Oh dear.
What is that?
Oh dear.
What is that?
He spends willpower.
Please don't frenzy while I'm on your lap.
You got two successes with a willpower spend. But oh dear Jesus, Alice. You see it. There's a glimpse of something in those eyes. Those normally really calm blue eyes. They harden. And there's this ferocity that just, it's like a wild ferocity, just like a flare in the eyes. Like he doesn't grip onto you tightly, but you feel like every inch of his muscles just tightened.
I guess the really important question in this instance is it even remotely aimed at her?
No. Oh no. God, no.
Okay. Because I was going to have to roll things.
No, it's definitely not. You'd get that impression. It's more, this has just angered me. You know what I mean?
Okay. She still probably tenses up. It gets really, really still. Like stops breathing, which is something that she tends to make a point of doing just because, I don't know, it feels normal. She just stops everything during that tense hot second.
I will ask him to leave state.
Okay. She is still not moving.
A man like that should not be where you are.
No.
I will make sure of that.
Okay. Just, oh, that's... She just kind of shakes her head like, I'm not going to go into that right now. Like, nope. Gets like 2 words in and it's just like, nope. Nope. Little head shake.
I will be back momentarily. I need to make a phone call.
Okay.
You as gently as he can. Sit her up, put her down, stands up very slowly, walks off into one of the side rooms. You can see him going out to the kitchen towards the back garden.
She just kind of lets him, really. I mean, he's being careful. So yeah, she is very carefully placed on the couch and sits there and just kind of watches him go.
Every movement, it looks like if the slightest thing drops, he will flip the fuck out.
I have to ask again, is there any chance she could take this as threatening because on edge, even if it's not pointed at her?
You get the impression that I wouldn't say it's threatening. It's more like he is removing himself from the situation because he is angry as all fuck. You can definitely tell he's removing himself. You're not even sure there is a phone call. He is removing himself.
Yeah, in that case, she will just stay perfectly stock still. Probably until the footsteps get well away.
And again, everything is so gently closed. He gently closes the door, and that's the last thing you hear.
I'm not gonna lie, it's not like there's anything else in this house that is moving. So she kind of strains her ears because, I mean, with her not breathing, not having a heartbeat, having nothing else to go over it, the only thing she can possibly hear at this point is him.
You just hear one. It's like the steps are very slow. You just hear the gentle closing of the door, the sliding door.
What, as he goes outside?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a window to the backyard?
Yes.
She's gonna glance at it to see if she sees him go past it.
You do. You see the back garden is a very high wall type of thing. You see him pacing.
She probably, after seeing him pace back and forth several times, finally unlocks enough to start moving, and perhaps even shifts a bit to see better what's going on.
He is on the phone, and you can't hear it, but oh merciful God, you know what I mean?
Is there the one hand holding up the phone and the other arm just flailing around wildly type thing?
It's his arm doesn't flail. He barely moves. Or maybe it's because he's so fast. But my God, you know what I mean? It's the facial expressions, but the arm is like a blur.
He sits back down and just kind of waits, watching the pacing.
And eventually you see him click the phone off and gently put it back in his pocket. Lights a cigarette very slowly and just stands there staring at one of the plants.
She just, I'm not sure if she has the nerve to follow him out. I'm not gonna lie.
It's up to you. What do you do?
Once the phone call is clearly over, and she'll probably let him smoke most of the way through the cigarette, she'll finally get up and start moving. Kind of get up, wander into the kitchen, wander towards that same back door, but we'll first glance through. About time he'd get through the cigarette to see if he starts another.
Seems to be just staring off.
She will gingerly start to slide the back door open. See if he responds to it, like to the noise of the door sliding open.
Nope.
And, she'll take about maybe get like 1 foot out the door before she kind of balks. And, tilts her head, looking at him for a hot second as he tries to stare a plant to death.
I mean, by the way he's staring, he probably fucking good.
Are you okay?
He closes his eyes. Yes.
Well, coming out make it worse?
No.
And she will finally finish coming out the door, slide it gingerly shut behind her. And she is on the outside, so she cannot play the lock flicking game. Though there is some compulsion to do so, and there may in fact be a pause as she runs her thumb down, the side of that little handle, almost searching for that little knob to flick the lock. But as that latch would not be on the outside, she makes, a run or two of her thumb before finally turning around and very carefully approaching. Like almost if she's afraid to step on the grass too hard even.
Okay.
And how is he standing exactly?
Statue.
Like
Statue.
posture?
Yeah, very just rigid.
Like, are his hands down? Are they in his pockets? Are they clenched at his sides?
And to the sides.
So yeah, she will very gingerly approach. And be saying, I'm okay. And try to reach out and just very gently brush the back of his, the back of his clenched hand.
He doesn't stop you.
But he doesn't react violently to the touch, right?
Oh, no. He doesn't push away. Like I said, it doesn't stop you. But he says, he doesn't say this in an aggressive tone. He doesn't say that. But he says, he hurt you.
Yeah.
I cannot allow him. He hurt you.
He did? And I hope I never see him again.
You won't. He doesn't turn rapidly, but turns with enough pace. You know what I mean? He takes both of her hands, squeezing it, not out of hardness. Out of
sincerity.
Yeah. You will never see him again.
And I'm not gonna lie, she's kind of looking up at him she's not confused. She is not stupid enough to not understand the potential implication there. And it's funny because it's that searching look of, I should feel bad. Like, I really should. But there's an edge of relief almost. as she tries to fight with the idea of being totally okay with that.
Oh boy. Well then. Because you displayed that emotion, something's about to happen.
Oh God.
You said relief, yes?
Yeah, honestly. It's something that haunts her. The idea of never having to confront it again or be faced with it again.
What's your willpower?
Oh dear. 6?
He will never, ever hurt you again. I will not let him ever enter a thought in your mind. A raised hand, a belt, there will be nothing that he ever does to you or to anyone. And when he says that, that wave hits you. As you lock eyes with him, you believe, you every single fucking word. You believe it. 150 million%.
That many. It's a lot
Yep.
of percent.
I mean, think about it. I'm just going to put this high level presence he just hit you with.
And I imagine it kind of starts with the tiny nod, but the relief of accepting something like that is rote. It cracks her composure entirely. So it's not like she immediately falls into sobs or something, but he can see the effect, especially locking eyes with her like that. It's the relief, and it's not that she's sad. It's just that the idea of having that kind of ambient threat removed is such a relief that she doesn't know what to do, except like she doesn't have any other way to express it than to cry over it. Like the expression starts kind of falling.
He brings you into his chest, wrapping his arm around, letting you cry. And as the scene... Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, and she does. She just, especially when she's pulled in, she just wraps around him and just, yeah, shamelessly, kind of weakly just cries into his shirt.
As Alice begins sobbing hysterically in relief and partial joy, Alec looks over her and looks in the mirror and sees a woman that he's seen all his life press a hand on the glass as the slit wrists stare at him. And she just nods her head. This is where the scene will end.